Archaeology porn.
Welcome to Into the Dust. I'm your host Jason, and in today's segment of Archaeology porn, we are going to take an intimate look at the most over-the-top piece of serveware you have ever seen. Folks, this is not your grandma's punch bowl. Nope, it's the Derveni Krater, a stunning bronze masterpiece from ancient Greece that's as mysterious as it is gaudy. Found in a tomb near Thessaloniki, now Greece's second largest city, and once the heart of the Macedonian Empire, led of course by Philip and then his famous son Alexander the Great, this crater was meant to impress. And impress it does. But it's a little less bling than you might otherwise think. More about that later. All right, let's dive in.
180, 34 years of age, Jeremy Wells!
Picture this. It's 1962 and a team of archaeologists is working in the Derveni necropolis, just outside Thessaloniki in northern Greece. They're excavating a series of tombs, hoping to uncover clues about the ancient Macedonians. In Tomb B, a kissed grave, think a stone-lined box buried in the ground, they strike gold, or so it would seem. The Derveni Krater is found, intact and gleaming, a rare survivor from the Hellenistic period. And we saw one of these craters before, if you remember our episode on the Vix crater, the largest crater ever found from antiquity. And this just wasn't any find. It was a volute crater, used for mixing water with wine. And yes, you heard that right. In antiquity, it was considered barbaric to drink wine straight up. And this is one of the reasons the Greeks considered the ancient Celts to be barbarians. They drank it neat. And this is probably why the owner of the Vix crater had such an item, to show that even though she was a Celt, she was not a barbarian. She could drink like the Greeks. However, this point of etiquette was probably invented in part as an excuse because the wine back then was often unpalatable on its own. So the usual ratio was 1 part wine diluted with 4 parts water. So yeah, it was pretty weak stuff. So believe it or not, it wasn't the modern-day American wine moms who first thought to water down their wine. Anyway, these craters were the centerpieces for symposium, which in ancient Greece were essentially raging keg parties. Symposium literally means drinking together, and referred to a ritualized drinking party for aristocratic men. It was a highly structured social event held in a special room called an andron, where men reclined on couches, drank wine mixed with water, and engaged in conversation, poetry recitals, music, games, and sometimes sexual entertainment by courtesans. All in all, sounds like a pretty good time, and it sure beats what we think of when we say symposium today.
Waste disposal, the federal government, for only $500 million, or the cost of one B-1 bomber, could reduce the price.
Now, the crater was buried because it had been repurposed as a funerary urn for the cremated remains of a man and a young woman. Alongside it were over 40 other bronze and silver vessels, weapons, and even the famous Derveni papyrus, literally the oldest book ever found in Europe, in a nearby tomb. Published by archaeologists, and forgive me, I'm going to butcher these names, Petros Themelis and Ioannis Touretsoglou, this discovery was a window into Macedonian burial practices, revealing the wealth and sophistication of its elite. But what did it take to bring this artifact back to its full glory? Let's talk restoration. When the Derveni Krater was unearthed, it was in remarkable condition for a 2,300-year-old bronze vessel, but it wasn't without issues. Used as a funerary urn, it held nearly 2 kilograms of burnt bones and had been exposed to the elements, or at least those in the tomb, for millennia. The restoration team faced a delicate task: cleaning off the corrosion and soil without damaging the crater's golden sheen. But wait, you say, gold doesn't corrode, and you would be correct. And that's the trick of this thing. The gold is just that, a sheen. It's not real gold.
Hey, what are you trying to push on us?
Well, the crater is actually bronze, it turns out. And that shine is caused by its high tin content, about 15%. Anyway, the conservation team stabilized the bronze to prevent further deterioration and carefully preserve the intricate reliefs and cast figures, like the handles and the statuettes, which could have been easily damaged. The result is what you see today. And the Derveni Krater is a beast, about 90 centimeters or 35 inches tall, and weighing 40 kilograms or 88 pounds. In addition to the bronze and tin, it's inlaid with silver and copper in places for some extra flair. And these decorations are where it really shines, literally and figuratively. The main frieze depicts the sacred marriage of Dionysus and Ariadne, with Dionysus lounging on a rock, his leg draped over Ariadne's thigh, and a panther at his side. Around them, Maenads, those are followers of Dionysus, dance in a frenzy, satyrs frolic, and a mysterious hunter with one sandal, possibly Pentheus, adds intrigue. The shoulder boasts 4 cast bronze statuettes, Dionysus, a sleeping Silenos, and 2 Maenads, one handling a snake. Vines, ivy, palm leaves, and an animal frieze adorn the neck, while the handles and volutes feature silver-eyed masks and viper stripes. Even the lid is perforated, likely for straining wine. This isn't just a vessel, it's a storytelling canvas. But who actually owned this masterpiece? An inscription on the crater reads, Astyanios, son of Anaxagoras, from Larissa, pointing to a Macedonian aristocrat as his owner, given it by his wife or lover. And again, by the time it was buried around 330 to 320 BC, it had been repurposed from a drinking vessel to a funerary urn in Tomb B, holding the remains of a man aged 35 to 50 and a younger woman. Was she the one who gave him the crater? We won't ever know. The shift from party centerpiece to grave good represents its sentimental value as an heirloom, possibly passed down through a Macedonian elite family tied to the royal court of Philip II or Alexander the Great, his son. So how did such a complex piece come to be? The Derveni Krater is a technical marvel. Craftsmen hammered 2 large bronze sheets into shape, joined them, and added separately cast handles, volutes, and statuettes, using the lost wax method of casting. The reliefs were created through repurposing, hammering from the back, and detailed with silver and copper inlays. The interior was lined with beeswax and clay to make it watertight, despite the decorative outer walls. Scholars believe it was crafted around 370 BC, likely in Athens or a northeastern Peloponnese workshop, though some argue for a Macedonian or Ionian origin, like Chalkidiki. Whoever made it was a master, blending Athenian artistry with Macedonian flair. But why does this crater matter so much? The Derveni Krater is more than just a pretty vessel. It's a snapshot into the sumptuous lifestyles of the rich and famous in the Hellenistic world.
Get ready for another incredible lifestyles, your VIP journey into the lives and loves of...
Its realistic figures and emotional scenes mark a shift toward the expressive art of the period, blending Greek and Macedonian influences during the rise of Alexander's empire. The Dionysian imagery ties to the mysteries, symbolizing life, death, and rebirth, which obviously resonated deeply in funerary contexts when the question of death took center stage. As one of just a few surviving bronze vessels of this size, it showcases the most advanced metalworking practices and the apex of artistic achievement of this time. Scholars like Beryl Bar-Sharar have studied it extensively, seeing it as a bridge between classical Greek art and the globalized culture of the Hellenistic age. But of course, no artifact is without its debates, and the Derveni Krater has sparked plenty of scholarly debates. Where and when was it made? The style points to 370 BC, but it was buried in 330 BC. And when was that inscription added? When it was made, or when these poor folks died, or sometime earlier, like maybe when they got married, if they were married? The single-sandaled hunter is another puzzle. Is it Pentheus from the myth, or a ritual initiate? And what about the Dionysian frieze? Purely mythical, or a depiction of real religious rites? These debates keep the crater alive in academic circles, proving its enduring fascination. The Derveni Krater is a testament to ancient artistry, from its Dionysian drama to its golden bronze glow. It's a window into a world of elite symposia, sacred beliefs, and Macedonian power. For more on the Derveni Krater, check out Beryl Bar Sharar's book, The Derveni Krater, Masterpiece of Classical Greek Metalwork, or explore the Archaeological Museum of Thessaloniki's website. Or why not just visit the museum for yourself? After all, the crater is just one of many marvels, including a lot of bling that the museum holds. And you'll probably eat yourself to death in Thessaloniki, known for its rich and eclectic cuisine. But none of that will compare to the amazing over-the-top Derveni Krater, which is why it's this week's piece of archaeology porn. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the dust. Next time we'll surely uncover another awesome ancient treasure. But until then, let me know in the comments section if there's something you'd like to see in particular, and keep on digging. Hey, if you like what you heard, give me that thumbs up below, hit that bell to subscribe, or if you want to support more independent archaeology content, consider contributing to my Patreon, where you can enjoy some exclusive members-only benefits and other goodies. Until the next dig.